The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour.
ChatGPT did become the world's most downloaded non-gaming app.
Literally the job of everyone in government to address the media and the public.
What are your thoughts, audience? What are your thoughts on Zandy Silva as the deputy PLP leader?
A community that can't feed itself is a community that doing.
What you may not know, though, is that Bermuda, we have a connection with Epstein, too.
Things that people are doing right, the youth are doing right, that is not being advertised enough.
When you see access to U.S. dollars disappear, that's when you have a problem.
You've got a town in the UK with a similar sized population. This place absolutely outshines it.
It's Tuesday, the 19th day of May 2026. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. This is the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, HSBC Bermuda, Medical House Lenders, People's Pharmacy, and big love to Hot 1075 for ensuring that we can pump through the radio airwaves with these most important community conversations. I'm Jamal Hartman. How's everyone feeling today? I didn't say it yesterday, but it's a short work week. Yeah, so you only got 3 more days, including today, until the unofficial start of the tradition of summer. Yeah, unofficial start of summer. So, does anyone usually like take a dip in the ocean? I'm going to say 24th of May. Does anyone do that? I know a lot of people. This was their time. They would usually go swimming for the first time. But does anyone in the audience, is this something that you do? Like, are you as soon as Bermuda Day hits, it's time to get wet? You couldn't get me on Cup Match. But James Burgess says, good morning to the Daily Hour team show. I'm on board. We are happy, excited, James, to have you on board. Thank you for rocking with us this morning. But yeah, is anyone like excited to go swim this weekend? Like, is this something you all do for the unofficial start? Because summer technically doesn't start till like what, June 20th, June 21st, something like that. So yeah, I just know a lot of people when I was going to school couldn't wait to May 24th. I'm like, oh yeah, the parade. They're like, no, go swimming. It was like this unwritten law that people would not go swimming until Bermuda Day. Not something that I was necessarily into. Anyway, greetings everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today as we welcome Keishon Wilson back on from Freisenbruch for another segment of Get Insured. We're going a bit deeper on life insurance today. Going to be discussing cash values and what most people get wrong about life insurance. So really looking forward to that. The daily play is going to be keys to the past with Curb because y'all didn't find it yesterday. So we're going to go with keys to the past again today. So I'll give you the clue. And audience, don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Real quickly, before we jump into today's conversation, we had a conversation yesterday with the Deputy Premier of the Turks and Caicos Islands, which you can find on our social media platforms. We'll be having a conversation with someone from Barbados, I think Mr. Keishon, next week. So yesterday's conversation, folks, if you like really have questions about CARICOM or anything to do with it, please tune into that conversation. It may not change your mind, but it's interesting to see what the Deputy Premier of Turks and Caicos has said about full membership of CARICOM. Turks and Caicos has been an associate member since 1991. But Claire Warner says, good morning, Jamel. Good morning, Bermuda. We've got Miss Ellen Kate Horton says, good morning, everyone. It's a real good morning. It is. We've got Silent Kate Horton says, some of us swim on a regular. Yeah, that's true. You, Nikita Robinson, bunch of people. Yeah. Suzanne says, I ain't been swimming for years. I had my Bermuda Day parade. I will be resting on Friday. They tell me the Loyal Hill parade is the real parade, Suzanne. But we're aligned. We're like siblings. We're not going swimming together. Alrighty, folks, let's jump into today's discussion, because I think you have a lot of opinions about this, and I want you to make sure you're sharing this conversation with folks, all right? So according to the Royal Gazette, Bermuda's speed cameras are expected to finally become operational by September of this year. And honestly, I think it's kind of good, right? Because let's tell the truth this morning. Bermuda has a speeding problem. We have a bad driving problem. And if we're being honest, many people on our roads simply do not seem willing to slow down on their own. Every single day, people witness reckless overtaking, speeding through residential areas, third laning, distracted driving, and aggressive behavior on our roads that frankly were never designed for this level of recklessness. Unfortunately, we've also seen the consequences: serious accidents, life-altering injuries, deaths, families devastated in a matter of seconds. So yes, on the surface, introducing speed cameras absolutely sounds like a step in the right direction, because clearly appeals to personal responsibility alone have not worked. Now, according to reports, the cameras will form part of the island's upgraded CCTV and license plate recognition system, with electronic ticketing expected to become part of the process. Naturally, people have questions. And honestly, they're fair questions. For example, what speed actually triggers a ticket? If the speed limit is 35 kilometers per hour, does someone get fined immediately at 36? Or will there be some kind of grace period, right? Like officers often allow during regular traffic stops. Because whether people admit it or not, most drivers assume there's usually a little flexibility when it comes to enforcement. So how strict will these cameras actually be? And another interesting question is this: will the electronic ticketing actually free up the courts and police officers to focus on more serious matters? Because if speeding tickets are handled automatically, that potentially means fewer traffic cases clogging the system and less need for officers to spend large amounts of time conducting roadside stops. Now, of course, there's another side to this conversation too. Some people are uncomfortable with the expansion of surveillance and CCTV technology. Others believe this could become more about generating revenue than improving road safety, like the sugar tax. Those concerns deserve discussion as well. But at the same time, we also have to ask ourselves, what's the alternative? Because right now, too many people drive on Bermuda's roads as though there are no consequences. And maybe that's exactly why stronger enforcement has become necessary. Personally, for me, I don't think speed cameras alone are magically going to fix Bermuda's road culture, because speeding isn't the only issue. Courtesy has disappeared on our roads. Patience has disappeared. People are driving distracted. People are driving emotionally. People are driving under the influence. People are driving aggressively. But if speed cameras force people to think twice before flying through residential areas or overtaking dangerously, then perhaps they can help create safer roads overall. So this morning's question, folks, very simple. What are your thoughts on the introduction of speed cameras in Bermuda? And we'll give you the poll right after we take this short break. Let us know your thoughts.
People's ACW, located at King Edward VII Memorial Hospital, carries over-the-counter medicines, toys, cards, and even toiletries. Our knowledgeable staff are there whether you're at emergency, visiting family, or a member of BHB staff, to show you our best even when you're feeling your worst. People's ACW, we're here for you.
Alrighty, folks. This is your daily discussion brought to you by Titan Express and Secure. Let us know, what are your thoughts on the introduction of speed cameras in Bermuda? And here's the poll question this morning. Do you think speed cameras will actually deter bad driving? 1 for yes, 2 for no, and 3 for some. You know, some people, you think it will make a difference. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, folks. I don't know what fines go for these days, but Bermuda's already too expensive for me to be talking about I'm giving money to the government. I'm being dead serious. I'm not joking. I'm being dead serious in saying that. Like, speed cameras would make me think twice about giving money away. So do I think speed cameras will actually deter bad driving? Maybe not immediately, but I do think they probably will. Now, it can be said that surveillance is only there to catch the crime. All right? Not deter it. Fair enough. But let us know, audience. Do you think cameras, speed cameras, will actually deter bad driving? 100% for yes. No one said no yet. No one said for some. Let's go to the audience. We've got Miss Ellen Kate Horton says the dangerous overtaking and undertaking are real problems. Also, driving and riding while texting. Yes, while you're deterred. Also, audience, I'll say it again. I have to say it every day, unfortunately. If you're going to respond to the poll, you cannot write the number, and then type something. You have to just type the number. So if it's 1, press 1. If it's 2, press 2. If it's 3, press 3. It has to be only the number, all right? But let us know what your thoughts are. We've got Nicole Hassel said you can't press 2. You got to press 2 separately, Nicole. But she says the cameras will not deter folks to slow down. Okay. Yeah, I feel you. Again, I understand, because people say it all the time. Just 2, not 2 and then a dot. Just 2, just the number, Nicole. But I kind of agree, because as I said earlier, there are people who truly believe that the cameras are there to deter, but what they really do is they catch the crime. They don't prevent the crime, if that makes sense. So I really take your point. I believe that people do adjust when they feel like they're being watched. I do. Now, you always will have those pocket of people who just don't care. They just don't care. But for the most part, I really do believe that people may adapt or change behaviors, even if for a short time. Now, Ms. Allen Kate Horton makes a great point. She says, it will take us forever to get to town. No, I feel for people, because people know there are cameras out. They may say, okay, well, I'm going to drive like Miss Daisy on a Monday morning heading into work. So a lot has to be considered as we look at this. Also, what I said during the monologue, folks, what is the speed limit? Like, we know what we should know what the legal speed limit is. But will we be judged, or will we be given a grace period, right? Because when we get pulled over, well, I don't get pulled over like you all, but you get my point. When you get pulled over by the police, they're not pulling you over for going 36, 40. You're usually in the 50s or 60s, right? So are you going to get pulled over, or not pulled over, but are you going to get a ticket for going in the 40s? Because if so, this is going to be the biggest money grab Bermuda's probably ever seen. And that's when it starts to come across like a money grab. Seriously. All right, we've got Suzanne Ingham says speed cameras are no different than LH cameras, Loyal Hill cameras, in my opinion. Just plain old invasive, I believe she means. If they're going to keep in certain areas on the roads, well, maybe, but I just think they are invasive. Put the police to work. So I don't necessarily know how license plate technology works, but I don't think it's as invasive as the CCTV cameras. I don't think it is. I could be wrong, but I think their ultimate goal is to read license plates. Now, I'm not even just thinking of this as a speed thing. This could really help deter other things that are happening on our road in Bermuda. So I don't know. I get the concerns. I do. I get your concerns. Manuela says the speed cameras will probably slow the speed of some until they figure out what they can get away with. There. Yeah. Judith Welch says the camera will not be deter speeding. So it will not deter speeding, she's saying. A stronger physical police presence probably will, maybe a combination of both. I think I like that. I think a combination of both. I do think a combination of both may do it. Cherie Dill says, if we have an efficient system of finding and collecting payment, I think it will be very effective. Well, here's the thing. You have people who go to court, get fined now, and they don't pay the fines, right? They get warrants. So let's say someone gets caught speeding literally every day, because there are people who just don't go the speed limit and they're racking up fines and fines. What does that do to our prison system? It gets to a point where the people can't even pay the fines. They can't afford to pay them. So what happens? I don't know. I think it's much deeper than just for a place like Bermuda. I think there's going to have to be a grace period, like warnings out. Hey, look, you were caught going over the speed limit 5 times in the last 2 months. Please note that this has been a period of grace. Going forward, you will be, face the consequences accordingly. Maybe that. Folks, this is your daily discussion brought to you by Titan Express and Secure. Maurice Foley says, I lived in Washington, D.C. for 10 years. And within the first 6 months, I paid over $650 in speeding or traffic fines. And it would double after 30 days. My behavior changed. There you go. There's an example, right? We've got Sean Smith says, will any vehicles be exempt from this? Unmarked police cars, bikes, certain government vehicles. Well, I would hope that police cars and ambulances and, of that nature would be exempt. So yeah, I would hope so. I mean, that just would make sense, right? But stranger things have happened. Renee Sherilyn says they will possibly slow down traffic amongst these already congested roads in rush hour. Why don't they consider extra routes or ways of alternative transport options first, then implement speed cameras? That brings me to a question. And maybe this is for another day. But do you think different areas of Bermuda should have different speed limits? Like, so how on certain parts of a highway, the speed limit may be 55, 65, 75. Do you think like East Broadway, the speed limit should be very different from, say, Harbor Road versus Middle Road versus North Shore? Like, do you think speed limit should differ depending on where you are in Bermuda, or do you think it should just all be one thing? That's maybe something to consider. We've got Suzanne Ingham says speed limit is 20 miles per hour, 35 kilometers. These cameras are nothing but money grab scams for government to waste more money, less cops, less jobs, etc. Why do we have to have these invasive cameras? Who has money to fill government pockets and waste? Well, here's the thing. Again, that's why I asked the question earlier, Suzanne. What is going to be the speed limit that is going to be honored? We all know what the speed limit is, right? Or we should. No one's getting a ticket for going 36. No one's getting tickets for going in their 40s, right? So what's going to be the grace period? Secondly, people rightly have those concerns. Like sugar tax. This isn't about people's health. This is a money grab by the government. Is it going to be another money grab? That's valid. It's valid. No, as far as the less cups, I don't see it as less cups. I see it actually giving the police officers more important things to focus on. Let's be honest. We don't live in the safest island right now. It's gives them an opportunity to better use the resources as an organization. We've got Cherie Dill says, we have had the same experience as Maurice in Switzerland. Trust me, the behavior changed. Okay. So we have some believers in this system, folks. We have some believers. Again, if you haven't done the poll, do you think speed cameras will actually deter bad driving? 1 for yes, 2 for no, 3 for some. It looks like most of you believe for some people it will actually change things. Suzanne Ingham says, how does the camera tell the difference between whose car is speeding? License plate readers. That's it's license plate reader technology. License plate readers. And the other thing, I'm surprised no one said, how will we tell who's driving? Ify says it. How will it work? How will they know who's driving the vehicle? Families share cars with multiple drivers. Yeah. So it's a lot of questions that we have. And maybe we'll put out something to the Minister of Transport and National Security, as the Minister of National Security spoke on it. But I do agree. I believe the Minister of Transport, and Darrell said it, this is what happens when, we don't take accountability for our own driving. We've got Mark Arthur says, my question is, how will the speed cameras affect the present point system? These are valid questions. Valid questions. We've got Maurice Foley says 10 kilometers over the 35-kilometer is fair. Here's the thing, Maurice. If I ask, I don't want to ask because I don't want to get people in trouble this morning. But if I ask this audience, what's the average speed you're going when you're driving in Bermuda? I guarantee you it's probably going to be more than 45. The average Bermudian probably drives between 50 and 65, if we're being honest. So I think it would be great if the government or police could share what, if any, is the grace period. I think that would be helpful. Sean Smith says, can these cameras be used for surveillance? My concern is privacy, especially people who have homes alongside the road. That's what Suzanne was saying earlier. Yeah, that's what she was saying earlier. I think that's valid. We can assume that it's just going to read license plates, but that's not how it really works. We've seen these speed cameras help solve crimes in other jurisdictions. We've got Maurice Foley says, it doesn't matter who's driving, but that's a concern because if multiple people in a house share a car and one person's reckless and the others don't really know they're reckless, who pays the fine? And if someone needs to go off the road, who goes off the road? Folks, there are so many questions with this discussion this morning. So many questions. And I think it's valid for all of you to put these questions to your representatives. You have to, sorry guys, just getting some background, but I think it's important to actually have those discussions. Ask your MP. Ask your MP what you want to know. Because this is what we voted for, right? All right, folks, this is your daily discussion brought to you by Titan Express and Secure. Let's go show them some love. So it looks like, let's look at the poll results. It looks like, do you think speed cameras will actually deter bad driving? We've got 38% say yes, 8% say no, and we've got 54% say for some. Okay. We've got to have this conversation again. Let's see if we can get the Minister of National Security or the Minister of Transport on to discuss this and engage. We're talking September, so we're months away from them being operational, all right? Kathy Rogers says, living in the UK, the photo comes in the mail with a fee. Believe me, behavior changes and it will double if not paid in time. Says they also have different speed for different areas. Yeah, I did ask. I don't know if anyone answered, but audience, do you think that we should have different speeds throughout Bermuda? Like a different speed for East Broadway versus South Shore versus Middle Road versus North Shore? Like, do you think there should be different speeds, or are you saying okay with one standard speed? Let us know. Let's go show some love to Titan Express and Secure. Give them thanks. Don't forget, we've got Keishon Wilson coming up from Freisenbruch. Really good conversation. Going to go a bit deeper about life insurance. And looks like someone found the key. So we're going to do the Daily Play a bit later. Keys to the Past. Someone found the key. You all are good at this, man. You all are good at this. But in the meantime, let's show some love to Titan Express and Secure.
The daily discussion is brought to you by Titan Express and Secure. Titan Express delivers safe, professional, and reliable transportation and tours across the island. From island tours to cultural experiences, they set the standard. And Secure is your go-to for property management, waste management, and residential and commercial services. Visit securebda.com. Professional, punctual, and reliable service is their commitment to you.
Alrighty, folks. It's days of the year time. And I'm going to put you all on the spot this morning. It is Malcolm X Day. Yes, so this day commemorates the legacy of a prominent civil rights leader. Born Malcolm Little, the man behind this day became a pivotal figure in the fight for racial equity in the United States. So big up to Malcolm X. But we're going to go with this one. It's Celebrate Your Elected Officials Day. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So I'm asking all of you, if you could celebrate a current elected official in Bermuda today, who would it be? I'm not playing, by the way. I'm not playing. But if you could, because I couldn't elect them. They took me off the thing. Like, I can't vote, so I'm not playing this game. But it's Celebrate Your Elected Official Day. If you could vote for a current elected official, who would you vote for? Sorry, celebrate. If you can celebrate, I said vote. Celebrate a current elected official, who would it be? Name someone. Name someone. Come on, audience. Don't be like that. There's got to be someone out there. I'm not playing because I can't vote. So I can't take credit. Oh, you know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say the mayor, Andre Dickens in Atlanta. I'm going to say him. Because at least I could vote there. They didn't take me off the register. So I'm going to say Mayor Andre Dickens. But come on, audience, it's got to be one person. Okay, here we go. See, Nicole Walker says Mayor of St. George, Quinnell Francis. There we go. There you go. She just celebrated someone. Anyone else? Is there no one else? Like, you all don't have no love for any elected official in Bermuda? That's sad. So how do they get elected if no one has love for them? Seriously. If no one has love for them, how do they get elected? See, Polly Rich says no one. Interesting. Okay, here we go. Angeline Butler says Owen Darrell. Okay, we've got Karen Edward Simmons says Renee Ming. I'm surprised no one said, you all seem to want Curtis Dickinson as premier, but no one said Curtis Dickinson. Come on, man. There's got to be some people out there that you like and you want to celebrate on this day, right? It's Celebrate Your Elected Officials Day. Celebrate Your Elected Officials Day. All right, since you all are shy, we've got Suzanne Ingham says Sir Edward Richards and Sir John Swan. Ain't nobody present. Sorry. Okay. I'll leave it at that. I will leave it at that. I'm not going to pressure you all. We've got Tanya Cheeseman says my MP Renee Ming. We've got Kathy Sumner says Kathy Sumner. Okay. She's elected in her household probably, right? Or maybe she's running as an independent next election. I'm going to put it out there. All right, folks, let's take our first break. But if you've enjoyed the discussion this morning, we're going to keep it going because I really we've got so much more to touch on with that conversation. There are a lot of questions that were asked this morning about what this is going to look like once these cameras are operational. We'll probably have the conversation tomorrow about maybe different speed limits throughout the island. But I think we need clarity. I don't think it would be fair for government to move forward with something like this without providing clarity to the people who operate vehicles on our roads. All right, let's take this quick break. Do not go anywhere. Make sure you get your questions and comments ready. I love these conversations again, folks. Speaking to Keishon and his colleagues at Freisenbruch is what helped me get life insurance 2 years ago. So hopefully you understand. This morning, we're going to go over what people get wrong about life insurance and where the value is. All right, so don't go anywhere. Stick with us. We'll be back in a few.
Take a look at our workforce for construction workers and tradesmen. Durable, stretchable in all the right places and plenty of options for tools and accessories. Paired with our wide range of tough and comfortable footwear, you can't go wrong. As you can see, Medical House really is a one-stop shop for everybody. We can't wait to see you.
See it all at our new expanded location on Bakery Lane.
Discover Drop It, your go-to grocery delivery. Browse and select from a wide range of groceries, from fresh produce to daily essentials. Our friendly drivers deliver fresh groceries to your door fast, saving you time and hassle. With Drop It, you get fresh groceries delivered fast so you can focus on what really matters. Drop It, freshness at your doorstep, delivered to your door with Lindo's. Why go anyplace else?
What lasts isn't what you buy, but what it becomes. With the HSBC MasterCard credit card, every spend quietly adds to a story shaped by intention and offers what matters most. Support that meets you where you are. Protection that preserves what you choose. Confidence for the unexpected. Peace of mind wherever your story leads. Start your next chapter. Use your card today. HSBC is licensed to conduct banking and investment business by the Bermuda Monetary Authority.
What if the age that really matters isn't the one on your ID? You probably know your chronological age, the number of candles on your last birthday cake. But there's another kind of age that may be even more important, your biological age. This reflects how old your body truly is at the cellular level. It is influenced by your genes, your environment, and the choices you make every day. Two people can both be 40 years old on paper, but one may have the body of a healthy 30-year-old, while the other is biologically closer to 50. The difference? Lifestyle choices on nutrition, sleep, stress, exercise, and exposure to toxins. That means you have some control over your biological clock, and that's exactly what makes it so powerful. Because when it comes to aging, it's not just about living longer, it's about living better. Want to know your predicted biological age today? Download the free Carrier Genetics app and fill in the lifestyle questionnaire.
All righty, welcome back to the big show. Jamel Hartman here. This is the Daily Hour, brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, HSBC Bermuda, Medical House, Lindo's, People's Pharmacy, and big love to Hot 107.5 for ensuring that we can pump through the radio airwaves with these most important community conversations. Folks, please don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. All right, real quickly. Audience, let us know before we jump into the conversation with Keishon Wilson. I ask this all the time, but I different people tune in at different times. But let us know real quickly, just a yes or a no. Do you have life insurance? You don't have to say with who, but just yes or no. Do you have it? I didn't realize, sometimes after these shows, you speak to people and people still don't see the point. They think insurance is bad. They just don't see, if I'm not here, why does it matter? And I think my mom, in my opinion, I lost my mom at a young age. I think 60 is pretty young to lose someone. And I will just say, I am forever grateful for her taking the steps that she did. So I'll leave it at that. But let's give a warm TDH welcome to Keishon, coming back on the show to have another in-depth conversation. And we're going to go a bit deeper today. Put your hands together. All right, Keishon, greetings, good brother. How are you?
Good day, sir. It's good to be back. Hoping everything's good, man.
I got to ask you before we jump into things. I got to ask you because, folks, we did ask him last year. We found out last year. Are you playing cricket this season?
I'm not this year.
Okay.
I decided I could be a spectator this year and enjoy my Sundays and not, throw beamers and headhunters at gentlemen.
So who do you play cricket for?
PHC. That's who I'm signed for. If I have a free weekend and some time, I might try to see if I can get involved, but it's not top of mind right now.
I read something in the Royal Gazette about PHC this weekend that they probably could use you.
Yeah, and I've been getting axed, and I've been enjoying my peaceful weekend, so I'm not in a rush to pick the bat up or the ball up. But
let me just say this. I want to say this with love to PHC fans because I don't need you all jumping me as I go outside today. But be more like North Village. Stick to football after what happened this week. They got all out for 13 runs, folks. I saw the news. So, Keishon, I think they can use you this season. So, I know you want to be a spectator, but after that showing this weekend, they may be on your phone a bit more. But I'm not going to hold against you as a North Village guy. But thanks for coming back. We appreciate you. I did ask the audience, who has life insurance. Suzanne Ingham said no. Nicole Walker said yes, and Nikita Shields says yes. Sherilyn Johnson says yes. Renee Sherilyn says yes. Judith Ross says yes. So for the most part, most people have life insurance. You've come on numerous times, and you've given some wonderful information, which once we shorten some clips and we put them on social media, that actually generates even more conversation. Let's start with this because there's a lot of confusion around whole life insurance and cash value.
Yeah.
Can you explain in simple terms, layman terms, what whole life insurance actually is and what it's designed to do?
Yeah, definitely. So whole of life insurance, I think, is one of the most fascinating tools that, sparks the conversation for life insurance because of the features that people believe are valuable to them while they're living. So life insurance, period, is purchasing death benefits. In no way, shape, or form is it something that you should be considering to help you in any way, although there are features that is not something that's profitable to you. So whole of life, in a nutshell, is purchasing death benefits upon death. And 100% of the time, the value that you purchase upon death is far more value than you would have put into the policy yourself. And that's basically what you're purchasing. You're basically buying more money at the end of the day than what it's costing you to fund it. Wealth transfer. That's what whole of life is designed to do. You're purchasing death benefits first.
Interesting. It's, a lot of people hear terms like cash value and immediately think investment or quick returns.
Yeah.
What are some of the biggest misconceptions people have about life insurance?
Well, so right now there's a lot of fascination around, financial literacy. People are online, they're trying to look for things, how to get ahead, how to get rich. And life insurance is a topic of discussion that comes up. And one of the things that is highlighted is the cash values. So people do come in with a preconceived idea of how it works. Okay, I want to be able to borrow from my policy, this infinite banking concept that's in these universal life policies. But, part of my job is, in fact, clearing up that myth in a sense of, cash value is not something that is considered to be an investment vehicle or a profitable tool to you. If we think about what life insurance is designed to do, it's designed to purchase legacy benefits at the end of the day. So the true bulk of what you're putting into the plan is going to be transferred upon death. But through your cash value, you have the opportunity to have access to a portion of that end goal. it is not in no way, shape, or form something that would be considered a good personal investment. I mean, you don't actually see in a participating life insurance policy more money available to you while you're living until maybe 25, 30 plus years. But when we think of the value that you'd get, even though it's more, you were far better off putting your money into some type of investment plan over that time to get more benefits for yourself, for your own pocket. So I try to tell to people like, yes, cash value has a feature. It's a beautiful feature in a life insurance policy. But if your goal is to create money for yourself, life insurance is not the tool for that. You're better off investing the money. But if your goal is to create money for last expenses or your loved ones at the end of the day, then it is one of the most affordable ways or cost-effective ways to do just that.
Indeed. Thank you for that clarity. And some, they were like, man, so basically you're telling me go get an investment plan and for myself and make sure this is for my children or my family or whoever. That was very honest and direct. And audience, if you have any questions or comments for Keishon, please send them through. We'll get through as many as possible. I want to shift gears real quickly. Estate planning, legacy planning.
Yeah.
Why do you believe these are important conversations younger people should start having now instead of later?
Well, planning is always more cost effective than reacting, and the younger you are, the cost associated with this planning is far less than what it would be if you're forced to start doing it once you have to react to your circumstances, and I think the more that you can, if you can knock it out the way, while your breath of life is strong, while your income is strong, while you have the freedom and the time available to do these things and get them out the way, why wouldn't you? Which is why I love the child plan. Imagine having a child set up before they even have a conversation about money. The cost associated is far less than someone who's, dang, I need a plan for last expenses at that time and they don't have the time horizon. Which is also why I do believe, dollar cost averaging is the best way forward if you want to start early and invest for long term. Nothing in my opinion is short term and valuable enough where you're not going to assume any type of risk. So starting early gives you the best cost, the least expected input, but also the best expected output because of the time horizon that you have for things to benefit and grow. Especially like in a dollar cost averaging investment plan.
Indeed. I want to ask the audience real quickly. I know we asked recently about pensions. How often have you all checked your pension plans? I want to ask you, when was the last time or how often do you check your life insurance plans? Like, do you just see how they're doing? If you can share that, audience, I'll touch on that in a bit, but how often do you check them? Keishon, many people avoid investing because they fear market volatility or losing money, right? Can you explain dollar cost averaging in a simple way and why consistency matters more than the timing of the market?
Definitely. This is actually one of my favorite things because I am not the most knowledgeable when it comes to investing. When I think of the scientific and deep terminologies when it comes to it, I understand it personally in a simple way. So dollar cost averaging is basically just not trying to time the market, but having faith in the trajectory of the market to the point where, you can consistently contribute something and take advantage of the ups, the downs, and the lefts and the rights in the market, knowing that at the end of the day, the money is going to grow. Is having faith that over a long period of time and being consistent that you will reach your end goal. I think it's far more stressful to try and time the market. No one can really predict the market. We have people that do a good job, but I don't think it's everyone's, job to try and time or pay attention to what's going on and take those kinds of risks. But what we do know is that the history of the market, when we think of back then up until now, it's always corrected itself. It's always trended in an upward direction. So if we know that since inception, why are we not doing the best we can to think long-term, plan, and take advantage of what we know is going to happen? It's inevitable that it's going to grow. And I think one thing I do like to explain to people is that volatility in the market is your friend. You don't really tend to make a lot. There isn't a whole lot of growth that I think you could expect without volatility. It's like, if you think of it, and maybe you could kind of resonate with this, if you had a favorite pair of shoes that you liked, and maybe they cost $100, and you're happy buying them at $100. If the price of your favorite shoes then dropped to $50 all of a sudden, that's not a moment for you, I think, to sell your shoes because the value dropped. I think that's a moment for you to say, oh, wow, you know, my favorite shoes are half the price. Let me go get 3 and 4 pairs of them because they are half the price. And I know the value within the shoes. I know it's a matter of time before these are going to get back to their original, their original value. And it's really as simple as that.
Would you say that comes down to financial literacy, people understanding money? Because again, I know so many people, and we're talking, people with college degrees who really don't understand market volatility. What's the best way to calm people in these times?
Think of things simply. You got to think of things simply. There's a lot of jargon, there's a lot of terminologies, and there's a lot of like higher level versions of these conversations that I think scare people away. So being able to understand it in its simplest form is one of the best things possible. Like, one of the biggest examples that I think has been stated is recently, I think everyone understands, for example, like how popular and how fast Celsius became popular. All of a sudden everyone's drinking it. They're at the gym, they're drinking it. They're going for a run, they're drinking it. They're drinking it with their breakfast. We watched it blow up, but nobody decided to say, hey, you know what? This has come out of nowhere all of a sudden. I can see how it's going to become popular. Maybe I should see if there's some type of way I can profit from this or buy into this because I see clearly the trajectory of this thing. Why don't I try to see if I could profit from it? And it's really that simple. We all have a lot of things that we know that we believe in, that we can sit and tell our friends and family that this is valuable and, oh my gosh, you should do this and you should do that. We all have that thing that we understand enough to try and bring people in. It's really about understanding how you can, profit yourself from these things. Pay attention.
Let's go to the audience. And audience, if you have any questions or comments, we'll definitely get to as many as possible. We've got Judith Welch. Says, many people think life insurance is not affordable. Can you share how someone can manage the cost of life insurance with their personal expenses because the benefits outweigh the costs?
Definitely. I think most people think life insurance is not affordable because they are associating it with unnecessary amounts of coverage. And they're not really tailoring it to their specific situation. So I've sold a lot of life insurance policies that cost people less than $50 a month, some less than $30 a month, and they meet the goal that is needed by the person. Not everybody needs $1 million or $500,000 in coverage. Not everybody needs a whole of life policy. Term insurance doesn't cost a lot at all when we think of the value for money. So I think it's an understanding thing. It's a knowledge thing. You don't know much about something until you've taken the time to understand it. And a lot of the information out there is very surface level and generic and not really tailored to the individual reading it.
We've got Nicole Walker. She's asking, are you familiar with the waterfall effect? If so, what are your thoughts?
I am not familiar with the waterfall effect. So I'm not sure if she wants to fill me in on what that is. And I can present my thoughts with that, but I'm not familiar with what that is.
All right. I did ask earlier, the audience how many times they actually check their life insurance plan. Nicole Walker said several times a year. How often should people check in to, some people just say, oh, you could take out $200 a month toward life insurance and then leave it, right? So how often should people check?
Good question. I don't think it's something that you need to watch all of the time. So yes, it's good to know how much cash value you have or know what your death benefits are. But if you've purchased a term insurance policy, the only thing that you need to make sure is that your payments are up to date. So you can watch and pay attention to that so that your policy is not lapsing, but there's no value to look out for. And also with the whole of life, I think it's a permanent and it's a lifelong goal. So no, you don't actually have to watch it in a sense. I think you just need to make sure your payments are up to date and that your policy is active. That's the most important thing. I think if ever you needed funds for any reason, yes, go look at it. Go see if something's available. See if it's the tool that you can use to access funds that you might need. But I wouldn't say it's something you need to watch. I do think it's something that you need to pay attention to your circumstances for. So, have I moved? Have I changed address? Has my lifestyle changed? Do I do this now? Am I a skydiver now? Does the insurance company need to know? Have I acquired another mortgage? Do I need to add value to my life insurance? It's really more paying attention to your circumstances than I think the plan itself. But yeah, it's really dependent on the person.
One of the things that I've heard in certain circles, I know I had a family member in the U.S. who had, they lost their grandma last year. She was 2 years ago. She was 99, almost 100, and basically spoke about how hard it is to recover, funds from life insurance and so on. What can you say to ease people's, concerns regarding retrieving the funds after death occurs?
It's not what people think. I mean, at the end of the day, the insurance company is mostly concerned with, is the person that we're speaking to supposed to be, is the person that we're speaking to, are we able to speak to the person that we're speaking to? Are they a named beneficiary, or do they have a right to talk about it? Is there proof of death? If we're talking about death benefits, are you the beneficiary? Yes. If that's confirmed, it's as simple as having the details available to transfer the funds. When it comes to cash values, accessing that is not something that takes long either. It's really a matter of ensuring that all of the documentation is in a row, all of the requirements, getting that submitted. And as long as the value is there, we're talking about a matter of, maybe a week and a half at most, as long as the communication is smooth and we can do it. Sometimes shorter than that. But as long as everyone's ducks are in a row, the documentation, communication is smooth, it's not something that takes long at all.
All righty. Keishon, gotta let you head out, but you often say right now is the right time to take control. Yeah. Someone tuned in right now who's been putting these conversations off. What would you say, or what would you want them to understand today? What would you want the takeaway to be?
Well, this is the one time I think in life, they say what you do not know does not hurt you. I think this is the one time in life where not knowing can cause harm. There is a cost associated with putting this off. The earlier you start, the lower it costs and the better the outcome because of the time horizons you have for things to grow and get better. The longer you wait, the cost rises. Your time horizon shrinks, so the benefits or the value that you get at the end of the day also shrinks, opportunity shrinks. It's far more better and far more cost effective to plan than it is to react. It's also far more better to make decisions based on real knowledge. So being in control is part of being in control is planning, also knowing what is required to have a sound plan, and taking the steps to ensure that you know what it is you're doing and how you're moving and why. And I think knowledge comes from that, and being proactive is a key component in that, not reacting to circumstances at the last stage and getting the shorter end of the stick.
You know what's crazy? We are very reactive when it comes to insurance, and we don't realize, like, think of hurricane season.
Yep.
Right? Hurricanes coming, people go. I remember working at Argus back in Hurricane Fabian, the amount of people running through trying to insure their boats, insure their home. And we like, the insurance company was like, no, you can't do that.
We have a hurricane season every single year around the same time.
Yep.
Yep. And react every single year.
I completely get how this, is the same with life insurance. People, someone's got an ailment. Folks, it makes sense. It really does make sense. I'm not just saying that because Keishon's here. Like, it makes sense. So you want to be proactive with it. Nicole Walker did explain the waterfall effect. She said, basic explanation of waterfall effect is each family member buying a life insurance policy and putting them all in a trust to create a waterfall effect for future generations. Interesting.
Okay. I didn't know that had a term called a waterfall effect, but that is something that I'm familiar with. And I think it's an excellent concept. It is. I don't think it has to be in a trust to reach the goal. I think a trust is good to facilitate dying wishes legally, to make sure what you want to happen still happens upon death. And there are other benefits. But yes, I did learn that strategy from a family a long time ago who came in and insured everybody. It is part of the reason why I'm a huge fan of child plans. Everyone has life. Everyone has, something to insure and something to benefit from, and a way to create value moving forward. Why not be proactive and start now? Why not mitigate losses as the best way that you can? Mitigate financial risk the best way that you can. No one's excluded from life. No one's excluded from death. Proactivity is better than reactivity.
I agree. We've got a question, and his information scrolling at the bottom. But Suzanne Ingham's asking, where can I come to chat with you, Keishon?
Well, I work at Freisenbruch, of course. You can call me. I'm not sure if my number comes up. Yes, my number does come up. You can email me. I am very interested in talking to as much people as I can about this information. So please, I encourage you to reach out. What you do with the information is up to you. My goal is to, better equip my community with knowledge so they can move better, plan better, think better, and just do better.
And where's Freisenbruch located? Front Street, correct?
It's Front Street, right next to Front Yard. It's hard to miss it. They do say it looks like a nightclub sometimes at night when they look in because of the color.
The lighting, yeah.
And things like that. But
like
it is
but
it is an insurance company. And like I say, I am very, very eager to talk to as much people as I can about this information.
All right, Suzanne. Keishon looks forward to seeing you. Suzanne's a good person, and Keishon is as well. Keishon, thanks again for this conversation, man. Always, I feel like they get better and better, and you're definitely teaching not just the live audience, but those on our social media platforms who continue to engage after the show. So thank you for another convo on life insurance, and hopefully we get to chat again soon.
Yep, looking forward to it. You enjoy the rest.
You as well, sir. Have a good one. All right, folks, that was Keishon Wilson from Freisenbruch. That was another conversation getting short. Hopefully you took some information from that. Suzanne says, my insurance is with Freisenbruch. All right, perfect. So now you got to go check out that life insurance plan with Keishon, see what he can do for you down there. Bella, come here. Hey, come. She's down here growling at me, folks. You've got a puppy in the room and she's growling at me because she doesn't appreciate me talking all loud while she's trying to sleep. But but don't bark. I have, we've got company, Bella. We've got company. All right. Sorry, folks. It's not easy with these young people. All right, folks, we're going to take a quick break. We'll come back after this break, and somebody found the clue. Don't go anywhere. Stick with us. I don't know what she's barking at.
For over 70 years, Bermuda Pest Control has been protecting homes and businesses island-wide. We offer a full suite of services, including rodent control, termite fumigation, and general insect control and maintenance. Our team of experts will quickly and efficiently eliminate any pest problem you may have. With Bermuda Pest Control, you can enjoy a pest-free home in no time. We're committed to providing fast, reliable, and solution-driven services for our customers. It's what we've been doing since 1952. Call Bermuda Pest Control today and say goodbye to pests for good.
Dreaming of expanding your business? With BDC's Loan Guarantee Program, we support your ambitions. Get up to 75% guarantee on bank or credit union loans up to $300,000. Just your vision and our support. Apply today and unlock new business opportunities. BDC, Bermuda Business starts here.
Bermuda, there's nothing like a home-cooked meal, especially when you can feed the whole family without stretching your wallet. With the affordable Bermuda basket, you'll find savings on everyday staples like rice, chicken, corn, and more. Everything you need to make a good meal for less. Shop the Bermuda basket at Lindo's, Marketplace, the Garden Market, and the English Market. Visit costofliving.gov.bm to see the full list of goods and start planning your meals. This is a message from the Ministry of Home Affairs.
Life moves fast, and so can the unexpected. When you insure your home, you need to know that your insurance company has your back. At Freisenbruch, let one of our friendly and professional agents give you that peace of mind. Because when you are covered, you are confident. Call us at 296-3600 or visit freisenbruch.bm to learn more.
All righty, welcome back to the big show. Thanks again to Keishon Wilson and everybody at Freisenbruch who continues to trust this platform to engage with all of you about such important information. Really, really appreciate it, folks. And if you do appreciate it, just make sure whatever social media platform you may be tuned in on, you share some love, give us a like, love, follow, share the link with your friends, your family, your colleagues if you find it valuable. Well, I want to give a big shout out and thanks to the BAC group of companies, HSBC Bermuda, Medical House Lenders, People's Pharmacy, and big love to Hot 1075 for ensuring that we can do this with you on a regular basis. Normally, it'd be time for the Daily Play brought to you by Bermuda Trivia. Shoe Buy, the new summer edition, will be out as we restock the original Shoe Buy next month. So make sure you follow us, Bermuda Trivia, on your social media platform of your choice. And yeah, stay up to date because there will be, like it was before, limited amount available. There will be a limited amount available. But today we're going to go keys to the past. So I'm going to give you the clue that we gave yesterday. All right. The clue yesterday said 2 games, 1 name, a record set. A boy so young they won't forget. Across the seas he paved the way, inspiring others far away. Find the road where legends meet and history runs beneath your feet. And a lot of you said the answer in the audience yesterday. You typed Clyde Best. And I believe a certain person, Miss Somerset herself, found that this week's key was found at Clyde Best Avenue. So congratulations. Hopefully you've already reached out to the great folks at Curb, but I believe Miss Horton found it. So look at her. Yes, somebody found the clue. You all are good at this though. You all are honestly good. I am surprised. Not saying that you all lack intelligence or anything, but I'm surprised you found them so quickly. I knew yesterday's answer, but the first 2 I definitely wouldn't have guessed. I like this game, and I appreciate Curb partnering with the Daily Hour to do this. So look forward next week, Tuesday, for next week's clue. Obviously, there'll be no show Monday, but next week's clue, I'm really looking forward to doing that one. So congratulations to everyone who's found the clues so far. Ms. Horton says she sure did. Yep, she sure did, folks. All right, let's wrap it up. Final thoughts on the discussion this morning. Yeah, there are concerns, folks. There are concerns. A lot of concerns, speed cameras. I do believe that they could make a difference. I do believe that tickets being issued electronically through maybe email or mobile notifications or even just through the mail could help us put the police in other spaces where we need them to focus. I think we need to be honest, though. Speeding in Bermuda has become normalized. Reckless overtaking and third laning happens far too often. There are many people who support speed cameras because they believe enforcement has been inconsistent for years. Some folks are rightly concerned about it being more about revenue collection than road safety. But bad driving in Bermuda is not only about speeding. Driving under the influence, distracted driving, overtaking, road rage, and a lack of courtesy are also major problems. Will people slow down permanently or only near camera locations? privacy concerns, they're legit. People have a right to ask these questions. Is there going to be a grace period? Is someone going to get a ticket for going 40 kilometers? This is going to be interesting. What I will say is that it's going to change the way we drive. It will change the way we behave. And we need to decide how we move forward with this. As far as the conversation with Keishon, I know a lot of people have questions about insurance, whether it's life, car, home, whatever. But just from my own personal experience, life insurance can be very helpful to ensure that you don't burden your family. I'll leave it at that. All right, folks, I got to give you some daily inspiration and I'll let you go on your way. I think this is appropriate for this morning on the speed and traffic conversation. And this is from page 18 in The Journey Within, my book, which is now available at People's Pharmacy, and I believe Bermuda Bookstore ordered some. And so here we go. This is the quote. Accountability could be the missing ingredient to individual progress and universal success. Yeah, accountability. All right, folks, got to let you go, but do not forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Thanks again to our partners, the BAC Group of Companies, HSBC Bermuda, Medical House Lenders, People's Pharmacy, and big love to Hot 1075 for ensuring that we're able to pump through the radio airwaves with these most important community conversations. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. I'm Jamal Hartman. Please do make it a safe and a great day. We are Izal. Peace.